what first drew you to the role of Melissa Moore in Happy Face?
When I first read the script, I was really struck by how accurately the show depicts this woman who is a real life person who has been an incredible advocate for people who've been touched by the trauma of crime. Um, One of the things that's unique about our show is that it's a true crime drama that is from a different angle. We see it from the family of the perpetrator and how that person's violent act has touched their life, and also the guilt and the shame that follows them after, and the guilt and the shame that they feel in connection to the victims of these crimes. And she has used this terrible trauma and act of bad as an act of service in trying to make good. And that was really compelling. And I think it's a story worth telling.
And this is not your first time as number one on a call sheet in a Paramount show. What did you take from your experience on Be Positive, which is a very, very different show, and bring
Yes.
and bring to Happy Face?
My goal on any set is for everybody to have an enjoyable experience and a lovely day at the end of the day. And because we had such, incredibly heartbreaking and tough, I think, work each day, the content was really complicated and heartbreaking. So I made sure that we laughed a lot, or at least I tried to make sure that we laughed a lot. And my goal, being number one on the call sheet is just making sure that nobody ever feels like I'm number one on the call sheet, and that we all just have a really, really good day at the end of the day. And I think we did. We laughed a lot, which sounds surprising. And all those incredible, wonderful, seasoned actors that I worked with on Be Positive taught me how to make sure everybody has a good day. So I feel like we did that.
You're brilliant in this, but your
You.
skills are on really full display in episode 2 during the Dr. Greg show. You managed to be so raw and vulnerable, but still maintain Melissa's power. Can you talk about filming that sequence?
I didn't come here to humanize him,
He's your father, Melissa.
but I am here to talk about Elijah.
And we will get to him, absolutely. But this story is complex. People want to hear your experience. They want to know what it's like to grow up with a serial killer. Am I right? Am I right?
Yeah, we filmed it kind of like a little play. We filmed it for an entire day. We had a real studio audience, and I think I probably did it maybe 20 times that day. And it's really raw and uncomfortable. And, when somebody's on a talk show like that, talking about some kind of trauma they experienced, it's really hard to talk and get the words out. And that can be sometimes hard to play, but Jen Cacicio wrote an incredible script, and the blueprint was there for me. So it was like a 15 to 20-minute scene. And when you see it, it's cut up with flashbacks and you see other things happening. But the way we filmed it, it was like a little play that we would just do over and over again. So I used some of my theater skills and just enjoying it. And it was like really exciting to shoot. It was a great day.
During the Dr. Greg show, it's revealed that Melissa is sort of terrified that she's inherited parts of her father's darkness.
Do you worry that you are like him?
I would never hurt anyone.
Of course not. Of course not. But I can see that I've hit a nerve here.
Is that something she's been afraid to admit to herself? And is that part of what's been holding her back from telling her kids about their grandfather?
One of the things that's really unique about this true crime drama is that it's based on obviously real people, and Melissa Moore is a real person with these real struggles, and she is somebody who has wondered throughout her life, is this nurture versus nature? Why was my dad like this? If it's nature, do I have this in me? Is it genetic? Is it in my DNA that I could be like this? And will this also be part of my kids' DNA? And it's a question that she continues to ask. And I think it's a really compelling question that we all ask ourselves. And we do when we watch any crime drama, but it's wild to see it in the eyes of somebody related to that person. So it's a question that's going to be ongoing, I think, throughout our series. But as an actor, it was a really interesting, I think, problem that I had to like navigate as a character.